Up to this point, I've been selecting colors without much discussion, but I'd like to explore the color selector. There are actually three different systems here within this dialog box. There's red, green, and blue, hue, saturation, and value, or HSV, and there's these painterly controls over here. Red, green, and blue is useful if you're trying to match a color that you chose, let's say, in Photoshop. You can make a note of the RGB values and just type them in over here, and you'll be able to match the color. Each color channel varies from 0 to 255. And it's the combination of those color channels that results in the color that we see. Now down here we have a comparison of the color that you started with and the color that you are customizing. If you click reset, you can go back to the original color that you started with. So this is good for experimentation or for comparison between what you're changing and what you started with. Now, hue, saturation, and value is a valuable system because of how you can break the color down into its constituent parts. Hue is obvious, it's the color. Saturation refers to the amount of color. When a color is unsaturated, it's grayscale. Value refers to the intensity of the color. This color field allows you to target any combination of hue and blackness. You also can use the whiteness slider to increase the saturation while also altering the value. It has a complex relationship, as you can see. As you drag these sliders, all of the other things are changing. What I like about the painterly controls is how you can work by selecting a hue. Let's say we want to work with a blue. I can set the amount of blackness just by moving up and down, and then I can fine-tune it by tinting it, by adding a little white to the color. Still, maybe I'm not happy. I can add a little black to the color and shade it. Unfortunately, there's kind of a bug, and if you drag the blackness slider, it immediately goes grayscale. So a better way of working is to drag this target to make it blacker, just by dragging it vertically down. If you go all the way to the bottom, you're going to have grayscale. You can leave the color selector open by targeting a different color swatch, and its information is loaded into the dialog box. You've probably seen me do this in previous videos. But it's just a convenient way of working if you are selecting multiple colors. Another thing about color is you can drag colors from one swatch to another, and then you'll have the option to either swap them or copy them. Let's say that you've carefully chosen a particular hue and you've gotten it just as you want, and you want to use that hue in another material. One way you can transfer the color is by using the color clipboard, which is a utility you can find over here. Color clipboard. It just gives you 4 color swatches that you can copy colors into. And now it will stay here until I need to use it again. I can then drag it into a different material if I want to copy that exact color. Note that you can use the floater version of the color clipboard if you prefer, and it gives you additional swatches that you can put colors into. You can even save a color clipboard as a kind of palette that you might use for a particular project.